Hello, writers. Our last lesson, you learned that you're your own job captain. You get to choose, as all writers do, what you're going to work on. And you have a checklist that you looked at and worked with yesterday as well, where you could follow in the order what you need to work on next. You also learned that you have 5 days to finish a piece of writing. So today, being the next day, you have one more day less. So you have 4 days left to complete your writing. So, what is the first thing that you need to do as a writer now that you're your own job captain? You need to look at where you left off the day before and see if you made a note to plan what you'll do the next day, which is today. If you did not, that's what you'll do to begin with. We'll meet in our group areas shortly. You will look at the piece that you were working on. You'll see where you left off, and you will decide what your next step will be. Now, let me just review with you those steps that you need to think about. The first idea on your checklist, monitoring your process, find a story idea and write entries. So are you still working on that entry? Did you decide that that's the entry that you want to continue working on to the publish end? If so, did you make a mental movie? Do you need to do that today? Do you need to go bit by bit telling your story? Remembering your goals. Maybe you need to get your goal sheet out. We looked at that. That should be in your binder. Thinking about what you're already doing really well and what you need to work on. That would be your where you're at today, beginning to work on that goal. Have you rehearsed your story? Have you told it bit by bit to yourself, to a classmate? Have you developed your lead? Do you need to look at our chart to remind you what makes a good lead? Whether it's beginning with action, a thought, or dialogue with your character talking to himself, herself, or to another character in your story. Did you make a booklet? Fold a piece of white paper, jot down on each page just a quick little sketch of what happens first, next, and how it ends. Do you need to go to that chart and remind yourself how to get started with that booklet? Did you begin your flash draft? How about revision? Editing? Finding the heart of your story? Bringing out that important part that you identified as the heart and telling a little bit more? Did you think about how Karen Hess writes something in there in her book, Come On Rain, that you really liked and you try it her way? Well, as we get ready to come together in group, I want to leave you with this thought that writers, while they're writing, they're revising, they're editing along the way. That will save them time at the end. So how do you do that as a writer? You write a paragraph, then you go back and reread. And you don't slow down. You just continue your story. Write another paragraph. Go back and reread. How does it sound? Did you leave something out? Do you need to revise? Continue until you have your story the way you'd like it to be to share with your classmates. So writers, join me in our group area with your story, with your binder, and your checklist so that you can figure out as your job captain what you're going to work on today.